CGWA came into the picture, how it has evolved from the year 1997 till 2025, and which are the states which are being regulated by Central Groundwater Authority, and there are states which are regulated by State Groundwater Authority. And our MOJS guideline, which came into existence in the year 24th September 2020, and later on amended in 29th March 2023. And now we are working for the after 5 years of formation of these guidelines in 20 to 25. Now we are thinking that many things which we thought at that time it will be proper, now we are lacking in some things, so we are in the process of further amendment of this guideline. I think within the 6 months this year the final guideline or amended guideline will come, where a lot of things will be changing. And ultimately, what are the challenges in the groundwater regulation? So basically, water, surface water and groundwater, there are two components, as the glacier is the third component. Surface water is basically visible in the dams, lakes and ponds, which you can see that how much, what is the quantum of surface water, one can just visualize by seeing it. But the groundwater is an invisible resource, and it is also a hidden resource. Nobody can see it unless we measure or quantify like the groundwater resource estimation, what is being done by Central Groundwater Board. And the monitoring, in India we have around 25,000 monitoring wells, where during the year 4 times we are monitoring. So by monitoring we get the knowledge of what is the groundwater level, how much deeper it is, how much over exploitation is taking place. But unless common man cannot visualize this, because it is a hidden resource, and basically it is a common pool resource. Everybody can use it. So at the time of independence, our country was water. Then moving from 1950 till 2001, it has become water stress, and now the rate by which we are exploiting groundwater. In coming future, if we are not able to control this exploitation or extraction or judicious use, then it can become the scarce resource. When the per capita per water availability is less than 1,000 cubic meter per year. So it is our moral and social duty that groundwater should be preserved and controlled for the future generation and also for the present generation. Then it started the advent of this tube culture, where the Punjab, Haryana and Western UP, a tremendous growth in our tube well construction started. And now it has grown throughout the India. The tube well extraction, India is extracting about the 25% of the world groundwater. Huge extraction is taking place. Other countries of the world are preserving and conserving their groundwater, but in India, we are exploiting more and more groundwater, and because our dependence on surface water should be more instead of groundwater. But unfortunately, this is not happening, and in the future, we are trying to have the more surface water resources so that our groundwater can be preserved. And two aspects: one is the quantity, second is the quality. Quality is also deteriorating in many parts of the country, and it is making our drinking water vulnerable, like arsenic, fluoride. So recently, uranium concentration is also increasing in some areas. So a lot of nitrates and a lot of contaminants are growing in the country. So basically, water is a state subject, but regulation and control is being done by both central and state government. And CGWA regulates by issuing no objection certificates for groundwater extraction to industries, infrastructure projects or mining projects. And necessary conditions are laid in the NOC that every project proponent has to follow when they come for the renewal. And then there are different types of renewal for the industry which are in the safe, semi-critical and critical areas. 3 years, for 3 years we are giving the NOC. And for infrastructure project, NOC is for 5 years. And for the mining projects, we are giving NOC for only 2 years. And in the overexploited blocks, all NOCs are given for only 2 years. So coming to the availability of groundwater resources in India, Central Groundwater Board is monitoring or estimating the dynamic groundwater resources of India yearly. Previously it was being done after 5 years, later on it was done after 2 years, now we are doing yearly. So 2024 resources tells that India has annual extractable groundwater resources of 406 BCM, and annual groundwater extraction is about 245 BCM. That is the state of groundwater extraction around 60%. In the map of India, we can see that that dark, what we see, that red color portion, these are all the overexploited blocks. You can see here in the Haryana, Punjab, and Rajasthan, and some portions of Gujarat, and UP area, and also in the southern states like Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So overall, we call that the stage of, when the stage of extraction is less than 70%, we call it safe blocks. When between 70 to 90%, we call it the semi-critical. Between 90 to 100%, it is called critical. And more than 100%, if how much recharge is taking place, we are exploiting more than that recharge, we call it the overexploited blocks. So in India, around 23% of the blocks are in the OCS category, overexploited, critical and semi-critical. And 73% blocks are in safe category and 2 are in saline category. So the 23%, our aim should be that bring these overexploited blocks to the safe, semi-critical and critical blocks, so that our exploitation should be less and less. And we should concentrate more on recharge of these blocks. So I will coming to the how the CGW has been formed. Basically, there was a civil writ petition filed by Mr. M.C. Mehta in the year 1985 regarding in the urban areas of Delhi, some industries were going on. Later on, due to the over-exploitation or declining water level in the Delhi, he has further moved the case. And in the year 1997, that Supreme Court has directed that under the Environmental Protection Act, Central Groundwater Board should be called as an authority under Section 3.3 of the Environmental Protection Act 19. And the main objective of the formation of CGW is to regulate and control groundwater management and development. So, starting from 1997 till 2025, we are moving through these different phases of evolution of CGW. In this diagram, you can see that our Central Groundwater Authority was constituted in the year, that is the 14th January 1997. It was formed only for 1 year. Then in 1998, it was extended for 5 years. And in the 2000 year, it was made a permanent body with 10 members, its composition. And now the composition changed in the year 2010 to 15 members. And presently, the CWS is consisting of 15 board members, which are deciding its policies and all the amendment in the guidelines. In the year 2012, Central Groundwater Authority has formulated its first guideline. That is, NOC was given, but a validity period was not there. But in the year 2015, some more guideline came in which all the safe areas and all areas has come into our guideline picture. And from the 1st April 2015, our NOCAP portal started. That is the No Objection Certificate for Application Processing, in which now online application processing has been started. And the year 2020, 24 September 2020, our comprehensive guideline, that is MOGS guideline, came. And from this date, we started to taking the abstraction charges in the same semi-critical and critical blocks, and the restoration charges in overexploited blocks. And the provision of penalty and EC was also introduced. Penalty was given for those project proponent which has taken NOC during the time of renewal. They have not followed the NOC conditions, then we impose penalty. And the environmental compensation is being imposed for the illegal withdrawal of groundwater. That is, they have not taken NOC and withdrawing the ground. And in the year 2021, our saline groundwater abstraction also came into the picture. But saline groundwater abstraction is still now, it is free of cost. We are not taking any charges. And the year 2023, again, some amendment was there. And our regional director office has been given the charge of applications which are up to 500 KLD, and beyond 500 KLD, that is 1000 or beyond that, our regional headquarters, that is headquarters, central headquarters in Delhi, we are processing the application beyond 500 KLD. So this is the brief history of CGW, how it has evolved. So nowadays, we are regulating 19 states and union territory. Those you can see in the India map, which is in the blue color. CGW is regulating starting from Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, West Bengal, Uttarakhand, and Sikkim, and all the 7 northeastern states. And some 3 UTs like one of Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman, Diu, and Andaman and Nicobar Island. These are also being regulated by Central Groundwater. And other states are being regulated by, which are in the white color. You can see they are being regulated by State Groundwater Authority. But as our guideline of 24 September 2020 says that State Groundwater Authority guidelines should be as per with the CGW guideline. It can be stringent than our guideline, but we cannot dilute our guideline. So we are regularly meeting with the State Groundwater Authority. and seeing that how they are performing, how they are regulating the groundwater. So regularly we are having the meeting with all the states, especially which are being regulated by the state groundwater authority. So what our NGT says that we are given the charge of regulating the groundwater to central groundwater authority. If the state groundwater authority is regulating in some states, but it is the ultimate responsibility comes to the central groundwater authority. So many times we have to become sometimes strict to the state groundwater authority if they are not regulating properly. So this is basically what NGT is telling, that the sustainable management of groundwater resources is required, and you have to do the sustainable management. You have to regulate the groundwater where the regulation comes into the picture, how much they are withdrawing, where the overexploited blocks. Now we are not allowing any new industries to come into the overexploited blocks, but mining and infrastructures are allowed in the overexploited blocks also because they are site specific. So I will give some silent features of our guidelines. That is, the project proponents have to pay groundwater section charges in critical, semi-critical, and safe assessment units, and restoration charges in OE assessment, that is overexploited blocks. And rates of abstraction and restoration charges vary as per quantum slab, how much you are withdrawing, like up to 0 to 500, some rates are different, 500 to 1000, 1000 to 500, or more than 500, 5000 KLD rates are different. Category of block-wise category rates are different. Like same block has different rate, semi-critical, critical, and OE has different rates, and type of project. If your project is industry, rates are different. If your project is infrastructure or mining, rates are different. And rates are highest for packaged drinking water and lowest for group housing society. Basically, group housing society, as for basically they are taking water for the drinking and domestic uses, so rates are very low. We are not taking any charges for saline groundwater extraction, and ECM penalty provisions are there. And all the group housing society or residential apartment which are extracting more than 20 KLD, that is 20,000 liter per day, STP is mandatory for those housing societies or residential apartments. If they are not installed STP, then we are taking penalty from them. And this STP water should be used for the flushing of toilets, green bay, car washing, like sundry works, that we should not waste our precious groundwater for these works. And all users which are taking NOC should have tamper-proof digital flow meter along with telemetry on all the groundwater extraction systems, so that we should know actually how much they are withdrawing. Because what is happening, if they are not using tamper-proof digital flow meter, then sometimes due to the problem of this, they are tampering the things, and that we are not able to do how much extraction is taking place. So this is a mandatory condition. And all industries which are drawing more than 100 KLD in OCS blocks, they are required to submit impact assessment report along with application and water audit report after every 2 or 3 years, or when they come for renewal. Because if there is some organization or some project proponent or some infrastructure projects, if they are withdrawing groundwater, what is the impact? Up to how much distance they are impacting? The radius of influence, we call it. Your radius of influence is how much distance it is, or your drawdown is going how deep. So this type of data we take at the time of their renewals. And I told earlier that the different terms are for renewal for different category, that those infrastructure projects which are in critical, semi-critical, and safe units, for 5 years we are giving the NOC. For industries we are giving 3 years. For mines we are giving only for 2 years. And all industries or all units which are in overexploited blocks, they are given NOC for only 2 years, and they have to come for renewal after 2 years. So basically, what are the challenges? Major challenge is that ownership problem is there, which are the person which is having the ownership of land, they are withdrawing the water, because actually what should happen, that community ownership should be there for the groundwater extraction, but unfortunately it is not happening. Because our land easement act 82, which comes into the picture, where the ownership right is there, and the land rights, well, the person who is having land rights, they have the ownership of the water below the land. So this is also creating a problem, and because many persons which are landless, they are not having the ownership of the right, and they should depend on others for this vital or precious groundwater resource. So, as per the World Bank report, India is the world's largest groundwater user, about 230 cubic kilometers per year, over a quarter of the global total. we are extracting groundwater. And this extraction is mostly for domestic water supply, irrigation water supply, and industries also. So, in the future, if this over extraction continues, then our 60% of the aquifers can become critical. And as the population is increasing day by day, our drinking water problem should also aggravate due to the deepening of the water level, and our safe blocks or semi-critical blocks are becoming overexploited. Now, groundwater is regulated in a piecemeal manner. There should be a comprehensive policy for the regulation of groundwater and how poor aquifer management, and where are the recharge areas where we can do the recharge, or should some water groundwater banks should be developed. This type of thinking, and our policy should be sustainable, and robust monitoring system is required, and comprehensive legal framework considering our climate changes, because as we are seeing in the coming the last 5 years, as we are observing that the climate change is taking a big role in our rainfall pattern, because previously in the eastern India, northeastern India, there was tremendous rainfall, but now this rainfall pattern is shifting towards the western India. In the Rajasthan, yes, I am observing that around 700 or 600 millimeter rainfall, or sometimes 800 millimeter rainfall is going on. So recently we have constructed two big dams in the Jodhpur district, and we were very apprehensive that should we get water in this dam or not. But fortunately, for last 2 years, we have ample of water in these two dams. One is the dam in Baswamaka dam. So the changing pattern, we have to adapt this. Adaptation strategy should be there. That if rainfall in western India, so we should construct more artificial recharge structures or dam or check dams or more groundwater restoration structures in these areas. And protection of aquifers, which is a prime requirement, and instead of allocation on the groundwater to dam members, because we should shift to the common pool resource as a groundwater resources. Then we can protect this groundwater resource. Our Environmental Protection Act says it does not distinguish surface water and groundwater, thus applies the same principle for both. This type of principle is required for the whole water, or either groundwater or surface water, that should be equally regulated. And now, at last, what should the way forward in the future? That wastewater which we are generating, is like the a million city, like the A1 city or B city, big cities which are coming due to the domestic use, our population increasing in the urban areas. So this wastewater treatment, and this wastewater can be utilized for the different purposes, like industries in the Koi areas of Rajasthan and Gujarat, common effluent treatment water can be supplied to the industry. So we can save this precious water. And recently, I have visited that in the Bangalore, that two district, Kolar district and Chikballapur district, they are Bangalore urban water supply. They are treating this affluent water which are generating in the cities, and they are recharging the big ponds there after treatment. And we have seen the water level, tremendous rise in water level in this area, going from the 54-meter water level, now it is around 30-35 meters. So in the 5 years, around 20 meters rise in water level has taken place in this area. So this wastewater technology treatment and reuse, it is going to be a game changer in the future. Like our urban cities are increasing in population, so a large quantum of wastewater is going to be generated. Second thing is the conjunctive use of different water resources like surface water and rainwater. When I have recently visited the area in different parts of the Gujarat, Narmada water can be utilized in these areas because the surface water tremendous water is. So we should conserve our groundwater in these areas, and we should have more dependency on surface water. And our third point is the treated mine water. Mine water is also generating in the coal areas where this water can be treated, and it can be reused for the drinking and agricultural purposes. So it can also save our precious groundwater. It is also, mine water is also groundwater, but its utilization should be there. Its gainful utilization is what we are lacking. We should put more effort on these things. And at last, agriculture. Agriculture is the largest consumer of groundwater. That is, unfortunately, it has not been brought into the ambit of groundwater regulation, because around 80% of our groundwater is being used by agriculture. So we are pushing those states. They are like the Haryana, Punjab, and UP, those which are using more and more groundwater, that they should At least they should think that this water flow meter should be installed in agricultural fields so that we could know that how much groundwater they are extracting. Because totally stopping it is going to be a big problem, because the socio-political issue is there, because farmers are taking agitations on this. So bringing agriculture, we could slowly bring agriculture into our ambit. So I think in the future agriculture, the less use groundwater of the agriculture is a very focused approach, and they should use the efficient irrigation techniques. And I should also propose that the industry should use more advanced technology, like the processing of these things and the different types of their processors or boilers or different, where they're using the groundwater as the UV. Because if you use decrease the specific water consumptions, we can conserve our ground. So with this note, I want to end my presentation. Thank you. And one last thing I want to say, that the role of NGT is becoming very important, because nowadays NGT is also coming into the picture, because around 126 number of cases we are facing into the NGT regarding the overexploitation of groundwater. And some of the cases like the water by canneries at Jagmau in Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, where there is the soup case has been taken by NGT regarding pollution by canneries. And some cases of wetland encroachment and pollution cases, Kauslan Kumar versus UI. And recently we have got another suo motu cases due to the article in the one newspaper that arsenic found in groundwater in 25 states and fluoride in 27 states. And so a lot of cases NGTs are taking suo motu, and they want that the contamination problem should be taken. And ultimately NGT has also taken the something recently. We have one cases NCT of Delhi, around 536 hotels in Paharganj. They are illegally withdrawing groundwater. They are not taking NOC. We are forcing them to take the NOC, because water conservation, hotels and apartments and buildings, these are in the urban areas, these are creating a tremendous withdrawal of groundwater. And one more case is the Builder Housing Society in Delhi and Noida area, that is the Prashurpan versus MOEFCC. This is the Greater Noida extension. If you go to the UP area, Noida and Greater Noida, huge apartments or residential blocks are going on and enjoying a huge quantum of water. And one another thing is the Salish Singh versus Surya Hotel, in which the illegal withdrawal of water by different hotels, it has also come to the notice. So the NGT has also playing a good role to conserve this water. So it is our duty of every citizen to conserve this groundwater. Thank you. At this note,